Good aerial photography shares similar techniques to that of ground photography. The camera just needs to be set up appropriately. In fact, you can practice many of the skills required before you go into the air. Maybe do some theory first if you don't know what I am talking about in the following video. As stated in the first part of this two-part video, this second part looks at professional tips for great aerial photographs. I promise you will get at least one if not two big tips from this. The first tip, automatic modes will not work successfully 90% of the time. In a moving aircraft, fast shutter speeds are needed due to the potential movement blur caused by turbulence similar to handshake. Long telephoto lenses need even faster shutter speeds or stable hands or very smooth air and aircraft. A good aerial lens focal length is around 70mm. A zoom lens will be very beneficial for this task. If precautions are not taken, dark scenery such as water and forest will cause reduced shutter speed and overexposure, potentially blurring the photos as well. Aerial photography requires you to be familiar with your camera and its settings. The main things you should know are your shutter, ISO, and exposure compensation. If you know what you are doing, you should shoot with a manual exposure. I recommend using the following settings as a starting point: shutter priority, ISO 400, shutter speed of 1/1000th of a second, and white balance set to cloudy or sunny as appropriate. Turn off image stabilization too, the lens and the body. A moving aircraft is not its friend. As for focus, well, that's another big issue. Cameras do not focus reliably on blank, featureless water. Amateur cameras with contrast focusing systems make this almost impossible. Slow to focus lenses will take so much time to try and then fail to lock on that you may well have flown past and missed the photo opportunity. As much as it may well benefit, I am not saying you need a professional lens and camera body, even though it makes life easier. But here follows a big tip. If your camera is having trouble focusing, here is the trick. Cameras are much better at locking focus accurately on a contrasty target, such as trees along the beach. Try and point your camera where there is a dark and light contrast. Fortunately, during flight, our targets will always be at what we call infinite focus. One focus setting will apply to all photos focused greater than 500 meters. To do this, half press the shutter to focus on a contrasty subject, hold it, recompose the shot to your intended target such as whales or boats, and press the shutter the rest of the way. Instant shutter release. The camera now won't hunt for focus. Two problems with this method are you need to repeat all steps to get another shot. Also, the exposure might be right for the trees and beach, but then not for the target. You need to set the exposure up correctly first. The big clue here is it generally will not change during the whole flight. What about taking multiple shots at the same time? Use burst mode. You can hold the shutter for a few shots at once. This saves refocusing and recomposing. Always take more than a few shots. It will be hard to come back. Now, if you are really advanced, use manual exposure. Lock it totally to one setting. Set the shutter, aperture and ISO, and then autofocus, compose and shoot. Exposure needs to be set for an average of the light, not just the dark water or the trees, or the bright sky and the beach. Find the aperture and ISO combination that balances the two correctly. Use a shutter speed of 1/500th to 1/1000th of a second, and do some test shots before you arrive at your intended photo opportunities. You should regularly check your camera settings during flight, as it is easy to bump them and change them without knowing, ruining your shots. Also, save your battery. Don't keep looking at your screen. The battery will go flat faster also due to the cooler temperatures, and you may not be able to change to a fresh battery during flight. Also, turn the camera off when not using it. Go to my Facebook page and post your ideas, settings and some examples of your aerial photography efforts. Let us know how you achieved them and the problems you experienced along the way. There are links at the bottom of this video in the content description area, and you may also go to the website as shown on the screen, also linked at the bottom of this video in the contents description section. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you got something out of it. I'm sure you would have. There's a lot of tips there. There's a lot to take in. If you're an experienced photographer, let me know if you've got some better ideas. And if you like this video, there'll be more to come, so please, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, share this video with your friends and families, etc. that may also be interested in seeing how I can help them with their photography. And we'll see you in the next video somewhere along the way. Again, thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, or you are new to the channel, like the video and hit the subscribe button to stay connected for future CrayonBox flying adventures.